and a very good morning and my namaskar to each and everyone. And on behalf of NCID, I welcome you to this 2 day student empowerment program, which is basically on prototype design, process development for business model. So, before proceeding ahead, I would request Dr. O.P. Sharma, Director NCID, to say a few words about the project, this entire training program, as well as what are the expectations from the participants, because this is very crucial and important. And I would also like to mention here that before this training workshop, this training program, we have conducted two such series of training programs earlier also. And this is the third of the training program in that series. So, keeping that in view, our main aim basically is to not only motivate you to be entrepreneurs to move on into your startup journey, but somewhere, to nurture you for developing your ideas into prototypes and then into a kind of a business model and then into a startup. So, without wasting much time, I request Dr. Sharma to throw some light on this training program. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. Josna. And good morning to all of you. I also welcome you for this two-day training program for the students of IGNOU. Um, the basic objective of this two-day program is to basically empower our students to think about the prototypes, design, process development for their business ideas. As Dr. Josna has mentioned, we had organized another session of this empowerment program for students. That was the 3-day program, in which we had discussed about the idea, problem solving, and other related issues, how different kind of ideas come, and then how to proceed further. And after going through that, we expect that now the students are having some ideas and they might have developed some prototypes based on those ideas. So how those prototypes basically should be developed and how to validate them, and then what should be the next step if we want to take it for the uh, business plan development. So in that context, we have arranged this 2-day virtual training workshop for the students, and this is for the selected identified students only, those who had registered through our Google form. So these 2 days will be basically having 4 sessions. First session will be development of prototype process design based on your idea, which you had an idea or which you might be having your idea. And then the next session will be today itself, that will be on workshop on business model canvas development, because in any process of business or startup development, this business model canvas development is very essential part that gives clarity of what you are going to do, why you are going to do. That's why we have taken this second session. And the third session, which will be tomorrow, will be on how to plan for startup and legal and ethical steps. So we will be discussing legal and ethical steps related to the startup, because when you have business model canvas in your hand and you have decided to go further towards a startup, then certainly there are certain legal and ethical issues. You should be very clear about those all legal issues, and also different steps, how you can register your startup and what kind of different stages will be there. So that will be covered in the first session tomorrow. And the next session again, because we know whenever you are doing something new, innovative, unique, related to your business, there may be some intellectual property also, which you can say this is my own intellectual property. I should own it. I should have right on it. So that's why how to manage this, how to apply for the intellectual property right, etc., pertaining to your startup. That session will cover these all aspects. That will be the fourth session of this training workshop. So that way, in these 2 days, we will be starting from prototype development to the intellectual property protection. And in between many things, we will be listening from you. We will try to tell you our views also, how our guidelines, because we are planning to make this session more of interactive, less of theory based, though we will be sharing different steps which are essentially required. You should have an idea about what are the different all possibilities. But still, we will request you to be more focused on your idea, your question, your doubts. So ask lots of questions. We'll try to give answer to those all. And also, many of you may be aware of those things, so you can also add to those things. So this is a kind of interactive workshop. We would like to you all to be involved in this entire process of training. So this is a in nutshell, in brief overview of 2 days what we are going to do. And at the end of 2 days, we want you to develop this business model canvas based on the idea, based on the discussions during these 2 days, and also to develop a prototype based on your idea. And this will be further taken in the form of maybe in the form of a business plan competition, because every year we organize business plan competition also, where we want you to develop a proper business plan based on your idea, and that business plan is evaluated, and then further inputs and guidance is given to how to improve it and how to make it a bankable business plan, so that you can approach some bank, you can approach some funding agency to get funds for your business or startup. So that's why we want this a kind of a hybrid or mixed kind of a process. Training we are giving to you, and we want you to develop something, and also in between this kind of challenge or competition spirit that will help you in doing better than others. So if in that process you are able to develop a good business plan, then I think you can approach some funding agency for that purpose. And also we will be giving certain incentives in terms of certificate, or in terms of other award or reward, or maybe some monetary also if possible, that will be token kind of incentive. But it's still our main motive is to encourage you, to support you, to help you to take your idea further and actually convert it into a proper business or a startup. That is our motive, and with that motive we are here with you. And I hope you will enjoy these 2 days. And though we have been interacting informally, separately on different other platforms, but because this is a organized, systematically planned 2-day training workshop, so this is a kind of training. As mentioned in our mail, those who will be participating all 4 sessions for 2 days will be getting a certificate of participation also, that can help you sometimes whenever you are going further or approaching some agency for funding, etc. So this is all about to these 2 days programs. So I welcome you all for this training program. Then I think we can take it further, Dr. Josna.
Thank
So
you, Dr.
this,
Sharma. So, shall we start the first micro workshop now?
yes, I think we can start.
Okay. Thank you very much. We welcome you once again to the micro workshop, basically on prototype design, whether it is for a process or for a product. And most of you might be knowing that whether it is a product or a process, the design and development is a very important and crucial part. Why? Because it not only enables you to see how your idea is finally giving a shape or a kind of an output, but it also enables you to refine your product, refine a process, and even to identify if there are any issues involved, so you can further re-engineer it, further test it, and then come with a kind of a minimal viable product. Now, the main aim behind this prototype process design and development basically is to create a kind of a functional representation of the product or process which you will be actually launching or are thinking of taking to the market. So, today we have with us Dr. O.P. Sharma, Director NCID, who is the resource person for this micro workshop. And he himself is an innovator and an entrepreneur. He has a PhD in physics and he has an MA in distance education. At NCID, he's working towards finding innovative and technology based solutions, whether it is learning solutions or support solutions for the distance learners. And he has designed and developed, implemented several innovative schemes for IGNOU, such as on-demand examination, digital question bank, science at mobile, Shodhar, etc. And being the director of NCID, he has been pivotal to most of our activities regarding innovation, entrepreneurship, and startup, which we conduct both for our students and as well as teachers. So, without wasting much time, now I request Dr. Sharma to kindly start his session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Josna. How many of you have attended our earlier sessions? Would you please write in chat? I can see some of you who had attended our earlier sessions also. But there are many new faces, new names I can see. Tapanjit, yes, I know Tapanjit is a very enthusiastic entrepreneur and he has very brilliant idea. And yes, Ayush has attended. And who else? For Pravalika, it is a good, that's the first session. Okay. And Arun Kumar has attended. Akwar Khan, it is first. Okay, you keep on writing, but in the meantime, I would like to know basically why you have attended this session, why you have joined this session. What are your expectations? What do you want to do in your life, or what you are expecting from this session to learn? There are two things. Like one is like simply because we invited you that you can participate. Then you thought let us join. There is no fees, and then we can join it. That is one thing. But another maybe you want to do something. You have intention to do some business or startup. If that is, kindly share that. Pramod Kumar Srivastav attended last session. Okay. अच्छा, आप में से कितने ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने कि अपना कुछ शुरुआत की हुई है या करना चाह रहे हैं, विच यू हैव इन माइंड समथिंग इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ स्टार्टअप और बिजनेस? कोई है दोज हु हैव डन समथिंग? मेरी आवाज आ रही है सब तक, या मैं ऐसे ही बोल रहा हूँ?
यस
सब
सर,
है
आवाज आ
मेरे
रही है।
साथ में कि नहीं?
यस सर, यस सर।
यस। Pravalika कहते हैं I have a good business idea but need to help to convert it to complete business plan. It's a good, because that is our objective also. Because if you are having good business idea, then certainly we will help you in taking it further. Yeah. Any other?
यस सर, आइडिया तो है बट ऐसा है कि इसके पहले भी सेशन में हमने डिस्कस किया था, आपसे कांटेक्ट तो हुआ था इसके पहले। आइडिया जो था एजुकेशन लर्निंग के बारे में, ई लर्निंग के बारे में और ई बुक के बारे में हम एक बार डिस्कस किए थे। तो उसके पहले बाद में बात हुआ था, एक ग्रुप भी बना था, तो उसमें कोडिंग के बारे में कुछ डिस्कस होते रहता था। तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा सा स्टार्टअप आगे कैसे प्रोसीड करें ये समझ नहीं आ रहा है, तो इस सेशन में मे भी हो सकता है कि इसके बारे में हम डिस्कस करें।
ठीक है, बिल्कुल। देखिए, हम क्या करेंगे कि आइडियाज तो आपके हैं, और आपको इन सेशंस को अटेंड करने के बाद में सबसे बड़ी चीज होती है कि यू गेट मोटिवेटेड, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ अस फेस सर्टेन प्रॉब्लम्स इन सोसाइटी। हम लोग देखते हैं कि हमारी प्रॉब्लम होगी या कुछ और लोगों की प्रॉब्लम होगी। प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी, कई बार वो नीड भी होती है। तो उन नीड्स को, प्रॉब्लम्स को ध्यान में रखते हुए बहुत सारे आइडियाज आपके दिमाग में आते हैं। कई बार आप सोचते हैं कि वो मैं अपने एक लिवलीहुड के लिए ही या करियर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ही मैं कुछ अपना बिजनेस करना चाहती हूँ या स्टार्टअप करना चाहते हैं। फॉर दैट ऑल्सो आइडिया इज रिक्वायर्ड, बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज आइडिया से जो नेक्स्ट स्टेप जो होगा वो हम कैसे लेके जाएंगे। और उसके लिए आपका एक कमिटमेंट एंड डेडिकेशन तो बहुत जरूरी है ही है, क्योंकि जब आपके दिमाग में आइडिया है तो आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि मुझे आगे जाना भी है कि नहीं। सिंपली आई हैव एन आइडिया एंड आई कैन शेयर इट विद समबडी, बट आई डोंट वांट टू गो इन फर्दर इनटू बिजनेस और स्टार्टअप बिजनेस। एक तो पॉसिबिलिटी वो भी है। अगर ऐसा है तो वहां थोड़ा सा आपको सोचने की जरूरत है कि क्या आप यू कैन रीथिंक इट, कि आपको अपने इतने अच्छे आइडिया के साथ में आगे जाना भी चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए। तो ये आप सोचिए। खैर, सो दैट वी विल डिस्कस इन द मीन टाइम।
यस सर,
यस।
बट एक चीज और जानना चाहता हूँ।
हाँ,
सर मान के चले कि ये आइडिया एक्टिवेट हो गया, एज ए प्रेजेंटेशन या प्लानिंग तैयार हो गया, उसके बाद का जो सिचुएशन होता है वो समझ नहीं आता है, या सिचुएशन कैसे हैंडल करे या फिर आगे कैसे बढ़े, ये सिचुएशन ये नहीं होता है। क्योंकि क्या होता है कि हम लोग स्टूडेंट हैं, तो वैसे फंडिंग भी नहीं होता है कि आगे उसमें लगाएं। तो इसके मामले में अगर कुछ आइडिया आप दे पाए तो सर बहुत हेल्पफुल रहेगा।
चलिए, आइडिया तो जो भी होगा जनरेट करेंगे आपस में एक दूसरे के साथ मिल करके। सो लेट मी नाउ स्टार्ट माय presentation today. That will be basically on a डॉक्टर ज्योत्सना, मेरी स्लाइड डिस्प्ले में आ रही है कि नहीं?
अभी तो नहीं दिख रहा है, कुछ ब्लैक आ रहा है।
ब्लैक मुझे भी दिखाई दे रहा है।
नहीं है तो गूगल स्लाइड्स के थ्रू शेयर कर लीजिए। हाँ, अभी दिख रहा है। अभी दिख रहा था डॉक्टर शर्मा।
ठीक है। ये क्यों आ गया?
आप प्रेजेंटेशन स्क्रीन पे चले जाइए अपने पीपीटी पे।
अभी आ रहा है?
हाँ, अब दिख रहा है।
ओके, सो दिस इज अ बेसिकली ऑन प्रोटोटाइप प्रोडक्ट और प्रोसेस डिजाइन एंड डेवलपमेंट। अभी जो हम बात कर रहे थे, आइडियाज की बात कर रहे हैं, और आइडियाज जब भी आते हैं हमारे दिमाग में तो हमारा बहुत सारी चीज़ें आती हैं कि इसको ऐसे किया जा सकता है, इसका इस तरीके का कोई एक मॉडल बनाया जा सकता है, ऐसा कोई प्रोडक्ट बनेगा, या कुछ और बहुत सारी चीज़ें दिमाग में आती रहती हैं। और उनको देखते हुए हम ये देखते हैं कि हमें आगे कैसे बढ़ना है। तो मैं कहूँगा कि ये जो प्रोटोटाइप डेवलपमेंट का जो स्टेज है, दैट इज बेसिकली वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्टेज ऑफ योर एनी बिजनेस। अगर आप कोई इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट डेवलप करना चाहते हैं, यू वांट टू develop a good startup a business, then also this is a very important stage, essential stage also in that series, in that life cycle of your idea to startup. I'll be discussing. I think you might have come across these different stages of any प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट. प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट में ऐसा नहीं है कि हम बात करें कि कोई हमने एक इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट डेवलप किया है जो विजिबल है, फिजिकली हम देख सकते हैं. इसके अलावा ऐसा भी होता है कि जो बिजनेस है, स्टार्टअप है, जो एकदम से सामने नहीं दिखाई दे रहा, लेकिन यस वी आर डूइंग सम बिजनेस, सो दैट आल्सो कम्स इन दिस कैटेगरी. तो कभी भी हम बात करते हैं कि इफ यू आर डेवलपिंग ए बिजनेस और एनी प्रोडक्ट, in that normally these 6 stages are there in that process. One is this ideation. Ideation का आपको सबको पता है, जो अभी हम बात कर रहे हैं. You have a very brilliant idea. कोई आपने प्रॉब्लम को अंडरस्टैंड किया होगा, कहीं कोई नीड आपने देखी होगी, कहीं आपके किसी फ्रेंड ने, किसी ने डिस्कस किया होगा कि इस तरीके का क्यों नहीं हो सकता है, हमें प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, तो कैन वी थिंक ऑफ सम सॉल्यूशन. सो बेस्ड ऑन दैट वी कम अक्रॉस डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ आइडियाज. और वो डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ आइडियाज के, और एक ही आइडिया नहीं आता है. मेनी टाइम्स एक यू मे बी हैविंग ए सिंगल प्रॉब्लम, बट यू कैन हैव डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ आइडियाज, डिफरेंट आइडियाज. तो अब उनमें से एक सवाल आता है कि हम उनमें से कौन सा आइडिया कैसे करेंगे. तो देयर इज ए कंप्लीट प्रोसेस इन दैट आल्सो, दैट वी हैड कवर्ड इन द प्रीवियस सेशंस, कि हम आइडिया सिलेक्शन कैसे करेंगे और उसमें से बेस्ट आइडिया पे कैसे काम करेंगे. आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन डिटेल. The next stage in that process is basically the product definition. मतलब आप जो करना चाह रहे हैं वो बेसिकली क्या होगा, कैसा होगा, किस तरीके से उसकी फंक्शनलिटी होगी, व्हाट विल बी डिफरेंट पार्ट्स ऑफ दैट, हाउ इट विल लुक लाइक, वो सारी चीजें यू विल बी डिफाइनिंग दैट एंटायर. अगर आपके सामने, अगर सपोज करिए आप किसी मोबाइल फोन का एक नए तरीके का बनाना चाहते हैं, जो अलग तरीके से दिखने में हो, जो अभी तक अवेलेबल है उनसे आप डिफरेंटली वांट टू डेवलप समथिंग, सो यू विल बी हैविंग सम इन माइंड कि वो कैसा दिखने में होगा, क्या क्या फीचर्स होंगे, क्या क्या उसकी फंक्शनलिटीज होंगी, क्या साइज होगा उसका, और उसको लगाने में कितना पैसा खर्च हो सकता है, कितना मैं कमा सकता हूँ. दीज ऑल थिंग्स व्हेन यू आर थिंकिंग ऑफ ए प्रोडक्ट, या इवन आप किसी बिजनेस की भी बात कर रहे हैं, तो उसमें आप ये सारे एस्पेक्ट सोचते हैं, और सोचने के बाद फिर आप देखते हैं नहीं ये सब मैं कर सकता हूँ, दीज आर अंडर माई कैपेबिलिटी, दीज आर अंडर माई अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज, दीज आर ऑल पॉसिबल विद इन द गिवन सर्कमस्टांसेस, और जरूरत भी है लोगों को. देन यू कम टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेज, दैट इज द प्रोटोटाइपिंग. जब आप प्रोटोटाइपिंग की बात करते हैं तो ये दोनों स्टेज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, आइडिएशन एंड प्रोडक्ट डेफिनेशन. क्योंकि अगर आपने आइडिएशन ठीक नहीं किया, सही तरीके का आइडिया नहीं आपने सेलेक्ट किया, एंड यू स्टार्टेड वर्किंग, देन आई थिंक एट वेरी लेटर स्टेज आपको लगेगा अरे मैंने तो गलत रास्ते पे चलना शुरू कर दिया, गलत आइडिया मैंने सेलेक्ट कर लिया, विच वाज एक्चुअली नॉट रिक्वायर्ड बाय द पीपल, विच वाज नॉट एक्चुअली रिक्वायर्ड बाय द कस्टमर्स. तो वहां पे आपको थोड़ा दुख होगा. दैट्स वाई ideation as well as proper defining, explaining, describing the process, the product or the business which you want to develop बहुत जरूरी है. Then this next step is the stage is the prototyping. Prototyping के बारे में मैं बात करूंगा, जो आज का जो टॉपिक है.
Dr. Sharma,
हाँ,
there is a request that one of our participants they want that we should deliver the session in English.
English only. मतलब I thought कि वो mix करने के लिए, because there are students from different parts, so that's why I thought it may be good to go in a Hindi and English. Okay, I'll continue, but I'll have to be in a Hindi also, because there are many students I know they would like to understand in Hindi also. So I will continue English. So the next third stage is basically this prototyping. And in this prototyping, you can say the first draft or first model or first prototype you will develop based on our idea, based on the definition of the product which you are going to do. And then you will create a minimum viable product also, which you can see, yes, this is the exactly what I require, which exactly the people require. And then with that product you will go to the market. Even before that also, when you are defining the product, then also certain background research you'll have to do. But at this stage it is very much required to go to the market with your product, how people are reacting to it, how, what kind of feedback they are giving, what kind of suggestions they are giving, so that you can improvise it further. And then based on those feedback, suggestions, inputs, you again improvise your prototype, and then based on that you can develop the next stage of that. So this is the third stage of this entire product development process. Fourth stage will be detailed design after getting feedback, suggestions, and that we can say the effectiveness of your prototype, whether it will be required by the people or not. Then you will go to the next stage, detailed design, and then after that, the thing comes validation and testing. Actually, what you thought, what you have developed, it is a working or not, whether it is a useful for the people or not, how people are thinking about it. Those all things you will have to take care in the fifth stage. And then you are, when you are through with these all things and successfully you have developed the things as per your plan, then next stage is the commercialization. Because when you see people are liking it, people are accepting your product, they are with you, and financially it is viable, you can develop within your limited resources, then you go to the next stage, that is the commercialization. I'm not going into the details of the 4, 5, and 6 stages. I'll be coming to this prototyping only. You might have seen different kind of these stages when you are designing your house. You are given a plot, and then on that, you normally what you do, you prepare a diagram, or you draw a kind of sketch on your paper with the help of pen, pencil. Where will be your room, what will be the living room, what will be size, where will be kitchen, toilet. Basically this is a kind of the framework that you are creating in your mind if you are going to develop a product like a house. I'm taking an example of developing a house. So, first thing is idea that you thought of develop preparing, or that building a house for your purpose, for your living purpose, or for your rent purpose, or a business purpose also you'll have to define. But here I think we can consider like for my living purpose. And also these are the resources available with me, like a resources, what is the plot size in which I have to build my the house. These all things you'll have to keep in mind, and then based on that, what we do normally, we prepare this kind of a rough sketch of your layout, what kind of design will be, where will be the room, and other things. This is the first stage. And then sometimes people do like, if I develop in a two-dimensional or three-dimensional, then what will it look like? So many people you might have been knowing that they try to create this kind of design, this kind of model, like my house will be looking like this, my structure will be looking like this, something. This is just, I can say, the for demonstration purpose, for uh, giving you an idea, I have taken these pictures. Otherwise you can have different designs. So this is also another kind of next stage from the idea that you will be developing. But now there are many tools, digital tools, which help you in creating this kind of very different designs, even with the colors, three-dimensional. And you can see the architects who are developing this kind of house designs, they are able to create any kind of three-dimensional. You can rotate 360-degree angle, and then can see how it will be looking from different sides, and what will the height, what will be the color, and these all things. So these all will give you an idea. Yes, this kind of product, this kind of design I will be developing lastly. So this is basically, I wanted to give you an idea. These are basically the prototypes. You had an idea. What was the idea? To make a house for you. For that, one thing that first thing came to your mind, yes, I should have this kind of layout, floor layout of my house. Then next, you thought of developing a kind of a design using the cardboard or something. I've seen many people, they develop this kind of design using the cardboard even for the 3 4 stories, and they prepare what will be the color, what will be the window size, what will be the that door size, balcony, etc. These all basically they help you give a feel like what your idea had and how it will be looking like. Or if it is a working, then it will give you an idea how it will be working. So these are basically the prototypes. I just wanted to give you an idea when we are going from idea to the next stage after defining the product. Then it comes, for example, you see, this is an example of the product is something you can, what you can call it, some eating product they have, somebody has thought to develop. So what kind of a product it will be? This was simply designed on paper. Like this is a it should look like this. It should be a round, should have a hole in between. So basically what was the prototype? Preliminary model or physical representation of your idea, how it will be looking like, or if it is a working, then how it will be working. So this is, I have taken a physical model example. When you are developing this kind of bread or some kind of eating item, then initially you thought of, yes, it should look like this. Then you thought like it can be colorful, and how it will look if we make it a bake it on something. So that is a kind of a minimum viable product. And then after that, finally you wanted to do some value addition in it so that it is a saleable, customer or users like it. So then you did some addition on this chocolate or some other kind of thing. This is the final product. So basically you had an idea first, that was the stage before this prototype, and after that you thought of this prototype, then minimum viable product, and then this is the final product. You can test something at the level of a prototype. You can go to the people, if I make this kind of a food item, how people will react to it, will they accept it, how it is different from others available, and then many things you can take feedback from people. But when you develop it first time, then you can actually offer this kind of product and then can take feedback. So this prototype is an essential part of anything which you want to finally develop. So we can say basically this is the replica of the final product which you want to develop. And if you go to the this Cambridge University Dictionary of the Prototype, that is just for the information. Prototype is the first example of something such as a machine or other industrial product from which all later forms are developed. That was basically we had seen here. This was the first attempt that we developed. It will look like this, and then finally this will be the product. So that's why this prototype stage is very important in the development of any product or development of a business. For example, if you want to develop a website of your company or website for somebody else, then what we normally do, we prepare design of those different web pages, maybe on the PowerPoint, maybe using the different other tools which are now easily available. So you say, yes, here will be the home with slider, this kind of thing, and then it will be the how we can navigate, and it will be in two different parts. One page, another page will have some videos, and will have some description below it. Or you can have this kind of design. So these are basically the design of your web page when you are trying to develop a website of yours, or for your product or for your business. So we say this is an example of prototype. And if you are not developing this prototype, then you think what will happen? What will happen if you start designing web pages directly? then what will happen? You will just do something, and then later on you'll find, no, it's not looking good, and then I'll have to make changes. So that will be the double or triple kind of effort and time waste, and sometimes money waste also. If you have designed well in advance, what kind of pages look like, and what will the features of this, what different component it should have, all those things, like search results, order form, these are simply the examples. If you have developed this kind of prototype for your website development, then it makes you easier, it takes less time, and also it will give you quick results for developing the website. So that's why this prototype is a very essential part of any product development or a business plan development. You know, these are also example of this. When somebody want to develop a cell phone case with the 3D printer, so with the help of 3D printer, you had something in mind, like it should look like this or this or this. Then you use the 3D printer and then develop the cell phone cases, and based on this you can develop in a mass scale, like for all the cell phones you can design different kind of cases. Similarly, when you are developing this kind of fabric, this frock or something, skirt, then first design maybe like this, from the front side, back side it should look like this, and then you can say finally it will be like this. Similarly for these two different products. So this prototyping helps us in making the product final in a better position, in a less time, with less effort, and also as per your idea. And if you start developing directly, if you cut your cloth in this form directly, then many times you may not get this kind of design. That's why it is essential, if you make with the help of paper, sometimes newspaper. Those who learn this tailoring or cutting tailoring, they normally, practice with the help of newspapers or papers. They design and different kind of um, um, clothes, and then finally stitch. So that's why this prototype is very important. You can take this example, so this is the final product. This is a final kitchen product. What is it? I don't know. Maybe because some fruits are there, so using fruits might be some juice or some product is being prepared here. But when somebody thought of developing this final product, what was in mind? Yes, I should develop a product which is able to extract the juice from the fruits or something like that. So you can see this was the first model, first stage of that prototype, using the cardboard or something like a. It is looking like this, and then a different, and then you can see the how person is holding his these fingers. Like here should be the knob. How one will be moving, rotating that knob. That also one can practice and then can see. Yes, it will be convenient for the user to give knob here or somewhere else. So that kind of idea you get when you are developing a prototype. Then the next stage is how it should look from the side angle or other things. So finally you can say this is the final product. So that is the importance of prototype when you are developing your business. Then also you'll have to think like what will be the first stage, and the next stage, and then how it will be the final when I am reaching to the market. So these all things I have, though I have shared with you why this prototype is important. First thing is it helps in validating the idea, what you had in mind, what kind of design it should have, what kind of the physical structure it should have, what kind of other arrangement it should have. So when you are developing a prototype based on your ideas, then if you are able to develop, means it validate that what you had in mind, that is actually happening. Yes, you can develop that kind of thing. And if you are not able to develop or prepare a prototype, then means the idea need to be modified. You will have to make some changes in that, then only you can proceed further. So that is a stage when you get your idea validated. what kind of design of your product, what kind of functionality you had in mind. If they are actually happening, then means it is okay, then you can go further. Also, when you have something in mind, like I want to develop a different kind of cell phone case, then how it will look like. So if you are preparing a prototype of that, even using the 3D printer, then that will give you a feel of that, yes, my product will look like this. People, if it is you are happy with that, means others may also accept it. So that will give a feel of the product, that it is, yes, it is being developed. And also presenting the idea to the investors. When you have simply idea in your mind, you want to develop a some business, or you want to develop something for the society, and with that idea, if you are going to somebody for getting funding, then what will you present before them? How will you convince them that I have something in mind, which will be which will create miracles in the society? uh, how people will accept you, how they will believe in you, that you can do something. But if you have developed prototype based on your idea, then certainly that will be a good way of convincing the investor or the funding agency. That's why whenever you are going for a business or developing some innovative product, you are always suggested to go for a prototype first based on our idea, so that you are able to number one, um, satisfy yourself, yes, based on my idea something can be developed. And if it is developed, then it is useful or not useful. Then next thing may be, you can showcase it to other people also, you can get some feedback on that. And also, if you are having simply idea, then many times you might have been told that it cannot be patented, it cannot be we cannot go for the IPR protection. But if you have developed a prototype based on your idea, certainly you can go for protecting its intellectual property, you can file a the patent. So that's why it is very important. And next very important thing is that when you are develop a prototype, and with that prototype you are going to the people, to your prospective customers or users, then that testing will help you, their feedback will help you in getting a right kind of response, whether what you had in in your mind, whether it is accepted by the people or not. So that will help you in getting the right kind of response from the market or from the users. And also reducing the market risk. If you directly develop something, a final business and some final product, then what will happen if something wrong happens? What will happen? All your efforts, all your money, all your those inputs that you put, they will go waste, they can go waste. But if you are proceeding step by step, from idea to the prototype, then there will be less market risk, because in that case you are sure that whatever you had in mind that is happening, that can happen. So it reduces the market risk also. Removing the kinks is because if you are having some idea, and based on that you are developing a product, a prototype, and then you will find, yes, something cannot be done in that case, then you will find, yes, I'll have to modify the way I am developing that product. So that's why at this stage you will be able to uh, remove whatever weaknesses, or what kind of all those hurdles or problems are likely to come there in the manufacturing the process. Confirming whether the material and design will withstand environmental, because nowadays all of us are talking about the eco-friendly product, eco-friendly business, eco-friendly items. In that context, if your product that you have developed in the form of prototype, that will help you, yes, something with these items, with this kind of raw material can be developed, means that will ensure whether it is eco-friendly or not. So finally, the testing, improving, and refining, that is the final outcome of the prototype development. Because if you are developing a prototype, that will You can go to the market, you can test it, you can get the feedback from the users, from the people who are likely to use it. Based on that feedback and suggestion, you can improve it, and then can refine your product prototype, and finally that will help you in getting a better product. So that's why this prototype development is very important when you are planning to go further from your idea. Maybe developing a kind of a product, or maybe a mobile app, maybe a software, maybe some good business, or those all things you will be developing. This is a simply just I wanted to give you an idea what kind of different kind of prototypes can be there. So we normally categorize them on two different bases. One is based on what they represent basically, and another is based on how they are used. So I'm talking about how, what they represent. Represent means functionality. If you are developing a prototype and that you want that it should be able to function like what you are thinking. If you are creating a kind of a backend, a website you are creating, then there are two backend and front end. If you are thinking this functionality aspect when you are developing prototype, then you need not to worry about the front end of your website. You will have to see at the back end whether it is working or not. So there more important is the functionality of your prototype. So that is a kind of a functional prototype. Sometimes you can say like a display prototype. Or prototype, I had shared with you the example of clothing prototype, or the mobile cell phone case prototype, or some house structure prototype. Those are how the things will look like. So you can get a physical feel of your product. Yes, it will look like though. That's a display. When you are displaying it, then means it will look like that. And third important category is this is basically a kind of a whatever you are going to develop in the final product. In the prototype stage, you try to develop miniature of that. Miniature means having all those functionality, having those all display features, having like a, it should give you a feel that it is a working. So it should have a, it is basically a version of the final product, small version of final product. So this is a categorization of prototype based on what they represent. Whether your prototype is representing the functionality, whether it is you are simply trying to showcase that yes, my product will look like this physically, or you want to create an actual miniature of that, like an actual miniature of something like you can say. I'll give you an example. Nowadays, with the help of a 3D printer, these space agencies, they are also creating different kind of propeller or some devices, and they are having all those features how the actual one will work, or how the actual one will look like. So those are the miniature prototypes, and they are now very much used by the agencies with which they want to create the things in a less time, with lesser risk. Also the type of prototype I just told you based on how they are used. There are certain prototypes when you develop like a model, house model you develop with the help of cardboard. You will keep it until your actual house is built. After that you can throw it. These are used with the help of cardboards, or those other items which normally the students in schools they prepare different kind of models. So these are throwaway kind of prototype. And some prototypes you will find they are not throwaway. You have developed something on a smaller scale. You want to showcase it to your investor, to your users, get their feedback, and further develop on that. So that is a evolutionary kind of prototype. And here you can say the prototype of your website. Many times you might have seen when big organizations they create a website or mobile app, they create a very small version of that. and that is not a kind of when you will use it, develop further, you will throw away it. You will be further evolving and improving it, creating new pages, creating new features in that. Though, so this kind of prototype is the evolutionary prototype. So this is just I want to tell you that based on how they are used, we can categorize prototype in this way. Different stages, as I have shared with you. First thing is basically the idea, and after that we develop a proof of concept. Actually, what you have in mind and what kind of material would be required, what kind of structure it will look like, and then next thing is the visual prototype, which I'm sharing with you right now. First can be the model of that using different items. That can be visual prototype, and then if it is a successful and you are able to prepare it, that can be made with the help of foam, thermocol, wood, paper, or even with the 3D printing. Then you come to the next stage, that is the working prototype. And if your product that you want to do that has a functionality features, certainly you should go for the working prototype, because working prototype that will also give you a feel of that kind of achievement when you are able to develop a prototype based on our idea. Because otherwise what will happen, if you have an idea and you have developed something using the thermocol or wood, that will not work. That can give you an idea, yes, my prototype, my product will look like this, but if it is not working actually, then that is not useful. Normally this kind of working prototype are required in the engineering and other fields. And then after that, certainly is the pre-production prototype, because based on that working prototype you plan to develop a actual piece of your product, which is having all those features. Maybe the how it will be looking, if you want to make colors on different sides of this, or those all things. So these are different stages of your prototype development. And after this stage you go to the next 5 and 6 that I had just mentioned in my first slide. Common methods, how we can go normally, these are different methods. Sketches and diagram that you see, when you have some good idea in your mind, immediately you put that on your paper, and then prepare a certain kind of sketches and diagrams. So that is the one thing. Whenever we discuss with our students, always suggest them to put their ideas on paper, and then develop what kind of thing they want to develop. Even when you are talking about the Yukti portal, when Yukti portal is inviting your ideas or innovations, you might have seen there are two fields. One is your diagram, and another is the video. So what is actually required in that diagram? That is, if you have an idea, then how that idea can be represented in the form of a diagram. Like you want to say, like a you have a very good idea of traffic management, smart traffic management. Then how that smart traffic management will be working, from where data will be generated, where will it be analyzed, and then what kind of decisions will be taking. So those all, the flow diagram of that, or block diagram of your idea, that is very much required. So even in a Yukti portal, this is the stage of your diagram. Similarly, when you say the storyboard, another stage of prototyping is when you want to develop something, where you want to say something, you want to show something. So that can be put in the form of a storyboard. Wireframe prototype, and that I'll come to that slide. Lego prototype, physical prototype, though all these things I've shared with you. Working model, because when you develop models, there can be simply display model, or it can be a working model also. 3D printing or a rapid model, that is nowadays very much used. And digital prototypes, digital tools, number of digital tools are being used. uh, One by one, sketch and diagram I have just shared with you. If you want to prepare a kind of what kind of your office workspace should look like, so you normally prepare this kind of sketches, and then um, something like you want to develop this product, then it should look like this. So these are with the help of paper and pen. You maybe 2D or maybe 3D, because this is a kind of 3D prototype design, and this is a 2D but giving a kind of impression that it can be 3D also. So this is a first stage, and I think all those who want to go for any kind of business, any kind of startup, any kind of innovation development, they should develop this sketch and diagram. Whatever you have in plan, you put in the form of diagrams or block diagrams, or some different kind of these all possibilities are there. And then storyboard, I just told you, if you want to develop something, storyboard is a technical technique derived from the film industry. Basically, whenever a video program is developed, then you might have seen that video, somebody is speaking, at the same time there is a text, or sometimes there is a animation, or sometimes the person's video is visible. So what kind of media at what stage will come, that is normally called the storyboard. And that similar of storyboard is being used here when you talk about the prototyping. This is normally when you say, when you are designing a website, when you are designing something, mobile app or something, what should be there and what kind of a physical structure should be there. So this you can use storyboard. Basically, when you are talking about the website design or a software design or a mobile app development, there this kind of a wireframe prototype is very much used. And for that, you can make manual kind of these prototypes using manual pen and pencil, or there are some tools also. These tools you can take note of these: Figma, Adobe XD, Sketch. So many tools are there freely available. With the help of those tools, you can design the layout of your product, layout of your website, layout of your mobile app, layout of your some other things also. So these are basically wireframe prototype used for the digital or kind of software or mobile app development. Lego prototype, you might have played these kind of games in your childhood. Many these items are available. With the help of these, children are asked to prepare a house for them, prepare a something toy for them. So those are also basically the prototype. Children are taught how to convert their idea in the actual format. So this is very much used. But when you are thinking of some bigger kind of thing, then I think may not be working. But yes, to encourage to the students or children towards this idea generation and prototype development, this can be developed. So this is again a kind of Lego prototype development. Physical, that I have shared with you because this is very common. When you think of some idea, you want to develop a product, you make it with the help of some easily available items. Normally, thermocol is used, wood items are used, these craft papers
Also,
are being used. Yes,
also paper, also paper. You it.
yes. Many things we normally use for this kind of physical prototype, and this prototype is very much used when you are developing something new for the people, and you want to showcase it, you want to present it, like my product will look like this. If you are creating this kind of new box, what is this, I don't know, this may be the dustbin or something. So you want to give an idea, my dustbin will look like this, my product will look like this. So you are using these all items, and normally now these discarded items are being used, and eco-friendly items are being used, which can be easily just biocompost composted. So those all things are very much required when you are developing the physical prototype, and this I'll suggest you, we should use it for any kind of product. And if you want to develop like a working model type of, if you have something in mind, you want to develop a prototype which can purify the household wastewater or something like, then how will you do? Normally we have seen the children in school, they develop this different kind of models, display models in science exhibitions, and they find the water is coming from some place, and it is being filtered with the help of some that sand or pebbles or something, and then after that some part of that is being cleaned. Again it is coming into the carbon that box, and then again it is filtered, and finally some product we are getting. So though it is a is small, but it is a working model. They had an idea like at home we can prepare, we can develop this kind of innovative solution to purify our household wastewater. Though someone developed this kind of prototype, and actually it is working, and the final product which you are getting, that is a usable product. So we say this is the working model prototype, and that is more convincing, because actually you are able to display it, you are able to demonstrate that how it is working and what is the quality of the final product. So this is very much required in the case of um, the items when you want to convince the people for the funding or something like that. Nowadays, these 3D printing is being very much used. So I'm not going in detail. Wherever these 3D printers are there, um, programming is done, and based on that programming and the idea, this exactly the product is being created, and that is the miniature of that product. And then using that product, it can be further replicated, can be further enhanced. Those all things are there. And now these digital prototypes are also working, when you are designing a new car with different kind of features, having a different kind of um, these like a less resistance from the air, or less resistance from the road. Those all things, what will be the impact of the accident or something. So these all things are done now with the help of digital prototypes. Many tools are there, and those with the help of those tools, these prototypes are developed, and then finally the things are developed. So when you are developing something new, and if you are digitally sound, you are able to use these different kind of tools, then these are preferred nowadays. Finally, after knowing about these all, what is the prototype and how it is essential, what kind of different categories are there, I would like to just tell you that the qualities of good prototype, when you are developing a prototype, what are the different essential things that I would like to share with you. First, very important thing is the representation. It should be able to represent the exact idea what you have in mind. If you have something in mind and you are not able to put it in the form of a prototype, then it is not a good prototype. Because whatever is in your mind, if that is not coming there, either in the physical form or in the working form, in the functionality, in the feature form, then I think you will not be able to uh, convince your users, maybe the customers or the investors. Similarly, next very important thing is the precision, because when you are developing something, that should be precise, like exactly what it should look like. So that is very much important. If you are making a mobile phone prototype, and you prepare it in a big size, like that, the size of a refrigerator or size of a um, air conditioner, then nobody will accept it. It should be of the exact size what it should what the mobile phones should be. So that precision is also very important. And third very important is if you are able to add the functional features. If you are for example, a mobile phone prototype you are developing, it should have certain features in as per your idea, and those features you are able to demonstrate with the help of a prototype, then that will be more useful, more impactful. Then people can react better in that way. Certainly the next very important thing is the improvisation. That improvisation is the stage when you have developed some prototype and then you go to the market, you go to your users, get their feedback, get their suggestions, and then ask to give you what kind of improvisation or the changes should be there so that it is more useful for them. And based on those, you should improvise it, you should make it better. And then certainly the cost is also very important aspect, because if you are developing some new mobile phone and the cost is more than the existing or available mobile phone with the same features, same other functionalities, then people, I think, will not go to your product. That's why the cost factor is very important along with the features, innovative features of your product. And nowadays this eco-friendly aspect is also very important. So these are the basically I can say the six uh, quality factors which your prototype should have when you are developing this prototype. So keep these all aspects in mind when you are going for developing a prototype. So now finally I can say the prototype is basically a replica of exactly what you are going to develop, what is in your mind, both physically as well as from the functionality point of view. And based on your prototype, you go to your prospective users, customers, get their feedback. Without that, if you are able to do that, if you are you have just developed and are not going to the market, not getting their feedback, then I think it will not be as much useful as you are thinking. So that's why this is a very much important. And prototype plays a very important role not only in the product design but also in convincing the investors, I mentioned. Because if you have an idea to develop an innovative product or a business, that can be successful only when you are getting some funding, and that is possible when you are able to convince the people with the help of your prototype. So prototype not only shows how the product will look like and work out, but it also demonstrate your entrepreneurial attitude. Because if you have an idea today, also few of you are discussing like I had an idea, I discussed in the past, in the last meeting, but after that if you are not able to proceed further, आपने उसका एक प्रोटोटाइप नहीं डेवलप किया, if you are not developed a proper design of your that business, then I think that is not giving a kind of a right impression. You are lacking in the entrepreneurial attitude. So if you are able to develop your idea into the prototype, it means you are interested in doing something. You are able to take risk in a doing in a going further. So that is the entrepreneurial attitude, and also shows your dedication to your work. Presenting the idea to the real people through prototype and gathering their feedback, as I shared with you, it is very important. That is possible only when you have prototype. Because if you are having only idea, how you will be able to convince the users or the investors? But if you have developed prototype that demonstrate that yes, you are not only stuck up with your idea, you want to take it further, that's why you have taken one more step and developed your prototype. That shows your dedication. And second thing, when you are developed that prototype, that will certainly help in convincing the people and demonstrating what you have in mind, and then you can get feedback, suggestions for the further improvement. So depending on the nature of idea, you can work upon the type of prototype, because I have shared with you two different kind of prototype categories, and what categories is suitable to you. But certainly I will tell you, if you are having an idea, don't remain stuck up with the idea only. Take the next step. Next step is I shared with you the defining the product, what kind of product you want to develop, and then come to this prototype level, at least to the prototype level. Then you will be able to satisfy yourself that yes, I have some idea and I am able to convert it into the form of a prototype. That will ensure that you are interested and you want to do something further. So this is all from my side. Thank you very much for your presence listening. I think we can go for the question answer. If you have any queries, doubts, yes.
Tapanjit,
Yes, Tapan, you ask what you want to ask.
हाँ सर, मैं कह रहा था कि जैसे आपने एक स्केच एंड डायग्राम मेथड प्रोटोटाइप में बताया, तो सर एक बहुत बड़ा डाउट होता है कि क्या हम नॉर्मली हैंड से स्केच करके उसको एक प्रोटोटाइप पे ला सकते हैं या फिर हमें कोई सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करना पड़ता है उस डायग्राम को बनाने के लिए?
नहीं, मैंने अभी कहा ना, हैंड से ही पहला तो पहला सबसे पहली चीज विच इज इन योर हैंड्स, दैट इज द हैंड। व्हाट यू हैव इन माइंड, उसको एकदम से आप हाथ से कागज पे पेपर पे लिखिए, बनाइए। आपका प्रोडक्ट ऐसा दिखेगा, इस तरीके से प्रेजेंट करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा। दोज ऑल थिंग्स यू शुड यूज योर हैंड, पेपर, पेन फर्स्ट। एंड इफ यू आर हैविंग दैट काइंड ऑफ एक्सपर्टाइज आपके पास में है कि आप उसको और डिजिटल टूल्स यूज कर सकते हैं, तो आप जरूर डिजिटल टूल्स यूज करके करेंगे तो उससे एक अलग तरीके का एक इंप्रेशन आता है, अलग तरीके की डिजाइन आती है, एंड उसमें आपको बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस भी मिलते हैं। बिकॉज मेनी टूल्स दे गिव यू आइडिया कि आपका डिजाइन ऐसा नहीं ऐसा होगा तो अच्छा रहेगा, जो कभी कई बार आपके दिमाग में नहीं आ रहा है वो प्रोटोटाइप डेवलप करने का, लेकिन वो टूल की हेल्प से, बिकॉज आपने देखा होगा कि मेनी टूल्स दे सजेस्ट, तो वो सजेस्टिव टूल्स की तरफ से भी आता है। तो आप उसको पहला हाथ वाला जरूर करिए। और हाथ वाला जो कहते हैं कि वो दैट शोज योर डेडिकेशन, दैट यस आप हाथ से ही करके अपने आप को चाहते हैं कि मैं आगे बढ़ूं। ठीक है,
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
यस। अच्छा, और बात कोई किसी का, इफ एनी क्वेश्चन इफ यू हैव। अरुण कुमार, यस।
जी सर। सर एक चीज़ मुझे पूछना था कि क्वेश्चन तो ये सब स्केचिंग जो होता है हाथ से डिजाइनिंग कर लिए, उसके बाद डिजिटलाइज में भी उसे लेकर जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। आगे का प्रोसेस उसके बाद ही पता नहीं चलता है सर। हाथ से डिजाइनिंग करने के बाद आगे का प्रोसीजर क्या होता है, उसके बाद से कुछ भी समझ नहीं आता है कि आगे कैसे बढ़े।
देखिए, आगे कैसे बढ़े वही बात हम कर रहे हैं। आपके दिमाग में, आप जैसे आपने कहा कि यू हैव सम आइडिया इन योर माइंड, आपके दिमाग में आइडिया क्या है, क्या करना चाहते हैं, कैसे करना चाहते हैं, क्यों करना चाहते हैं। मैं तो वही कहता हूं, पहले तो आप उसी को आप पेपर पे लिखिएगा, और उसको पेपर पे लिखिए, फिर उसको डिस्कस करिए, रीड इट अगेन, फिर देखिए आप एग्जैक्टली करना चाहते हैं, क्या वो जरूरत है। जरूरत है तो क्या उसी फॉर्म में जरूरत है जिस तरीके से आप देना चाहते हैं, नहीं है तो उसमें क्या मॉडिफिकेशन की जरूरत है। इफ समथिंग इज ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग लाइक योर्स, ये जो मैं बात कर रहा हूँ आइडिया से नेक्स्ट स्टेज वाली बात, नॉट प्रोटोटाइप। बिकॉज
यस सर।
मैंने अभी शेयर किया था कि देर आर सिक्स, मेनली सिक्स स्टेजेस व्हेन यू आर गोइंग फ्रॉम आइडिया टू कॉमर्शलाइजेशन। उसमें जो आइडिया के बाद में नेक्स्ट स्टेज इज द डिफाइनिंग अ प्रोडक्ट। आपके दिमाग में कोई आइडिया है, कोई बिजनेस करने का है, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलप करने का है, कोई मोबाइल ऐप डेवलप करने का है, या कोई और आइटम डेवलप करने का है जो बहुत अच्छा है, यूजफुल है, तो वो आइडिया को आपको पहला स्टेज, जो आइडिया के बाद में जो नेक्स्ट स्टेज है, दैट इज उसको थॉरोली अंडरस्टैंड करना। और अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए भी दैट आई विल सजेस्ट यू ऑल कि आप उसके लिए यू यूज द पेपर एंड पेन, यू राइट ऑल योर आइडियाज। उसको देखिए कि दिस आइडिया इज एग्जैक्टली एक्चुअली रिक्वायर्ड और नॉट रिक्वायर्ड है, तो उसमें आपको क्या करना है, आप कैसे कर सकते हैं, और जैसा आप सोच रहे हैं वेदर वही जरूरत है भी कि नहीं। क्या हो सकता है कि आपके दिमाग में आइडिया आ रहा है, सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ थिंग इज ऑलरेडी हैपनिंग देयर, ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग देयर, ऐसा भी हो सकता है। आप सोच रहे हो कि मैं एक कोई वेबसाइट बनाता हूँ, मोबाइल ऐप बनाता हूँ, बट ऑलरेडी सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ मोबाइल ऐप इज देयर, तो आप देखिए कि यस ऑलरेडी सम मोबाइल ऐप इज देयर। तो मैं ये नहीं कहूंगा कि यू लीव योर आइडिया, don't leave your idea but modify your idea, because in that case इफ समथिंग इज ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग देयर, कोई एक मोबाइल ऐप आपके आइडिया के आधार पर बना हुआ है, ई लर्निंग का फॉर एग्जांपल आपने कहा, इन दैट केस व्हाट विल यू डू? आप देखिए कि उस मोबाइल ऐप में जो ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग है, व्हाट मोर इज रिक्वायर्ड इन दैट, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ वैल्यू एडिशन इज रिक्वायर्ड दैट, उसमें क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आ रही हैं जो आप एड्रेस कर सकते हैं उसमें। सो यू मॉडिफाई योर आइडिया बेस्ड ऑन दैट, और फिर उसके हिसाब से फिर उसको लिखिए, एंड देन यू सी कि आपने जो मॉडिफाई किया, आपने इस तरीके से सोचा, क्या वो जो अब हो भी सकता है कि नहीं। क्योंकि कई बार हमारे दिमाग में आइडिया आता है कि हम यहाँ से और पूरे आसमान तक एक सीढ़ी लगा लेंगे। आइडिया बहुत अच्छा है, सीढ़ी लगा करके हम चंद्रमा पे पहुंच जाएंगे, लेकिन अब सवाल ये है कि वो सीढ़ी लग भी सकती है कि नहीं। तो ये चीज भी देखने की जरूरत है कि वेदर द आइडिया विच यू हैव इन माइंड, वेदर दैट इज फिजिबल और नॉट, वेदर दैट इज वायबल और नॉट, फाइनेंशियली भी आपको देखना है, फिजिकली भी देखना है, फ्रॉम दीज ऑल पॉइंट्स ऑफ व्यू वो सारी चीज देखनी है। इसलिए मैं आपसे कह रहा हूं कि व्हेन यू हैव एन आइडिया, उसको नेक्स्ट स्टेज पे जाइए, उसको लिखिए, मार्केट सर्वे करिए, लोगों से पूछिए, फिर उसको आप रिव्यू करिए व्हाट यू हैड इन माइंड। उसके बाद में देन यू कम टू द प्रोटोटाइप ऑफ दैट। प्रोटोटाइप पे जब आएंगे, अगर आपको वेबसाइट बनाना है, देन यू design a website on paper, maybe with the help of tools, maybe with the help of your जैसे आप पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन बनाते हैं, दैट कैन बी फॉर्मेट ऑफ वेबसाइट। आप उसमें देखिए वेबसाइट का डिजाइन ये होगा, कलर ये होगा, उसमें यहाँ पे हमें ये फीचर रखने हैं, यहाँ पे ये एस्पेक्ट रखना है, डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स आप उसमें सोचेंगे, तो वो आपका एक प्रोटोटाइप हो गया। देन अगर सपोज करो आप प्रोटोटाइप आपने बना लिया, बट यू आर नॉट हैविंग दैट काइंड ऑफ स्किल टू क्रिएट ए वेबसाइट, फिर क्या होगा? यू विल गो टू अ पर्सन हु कैन क्रिएट वेबसाइट फॉर यू, बट स्टिल दैट प्रोटोटाइप विच यू हैड इन माइंड कि मुझे ऐसा ही वेबसाइट चाहिए, इसमें ये फंक्शनलिटी चाहिए, इसमें ये फीचर्स चाहिए, इसमें ये कंपोनेंट चाहिए, देन ओनली यू कैन गाइड द क्रिएटर। उसको जो सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर है उसको तभी बता पाएंगे, क्योंकि सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर इज नॉट हैविंग दैट काइंड ऑफ आइडिया जो आपके दिमाग में है। इसलिए ये बहुत जरूरी है कि आप पहला अपना आइडिया से नेक्स्ट स्टेप में जाइए, उसको थॉरोली स्टडी करिए, डिफाइन योर आइडिया फर्दर, प्रोडक्ट किस तरीके का है उसको आप लिखिए, एंड देन इफ पॉसिबल यू डिस्कस विद योर फ्रेंड्स एंड और हम तो आपके साथ में हैं, हमारे साथ डिस्कस करिए। अगर आपके दिमाग में बहुत अच्छा है, सब कुछ है, देन आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू, रिसेंटली वी हैव स्टार्टेड ए स्कीम दैट इज अ मेंटरिंग फॉर स्टार्टअप। अगर आपने किसी लेवल का एक कुछ काम कर लिया है एंड देन यू आर स्टक अप विद द प्रॉब्लम्स, अब मुझे आगे क्या करना है, तो वहां वी आर देयर विद यू एंड वी विल गाइड यू कि अब आपको नेक्स्ट स्टेप ये लेना है। वहां थोड़ा आपको पेशेंस के साथ हमारे साथ रहना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि दीज ऑल थिंग्स दे टेक टाइम, बिकॉज ऐसा नहीं है कि हमने आज किया और कल को उसका एंड रिजल्ट आ जाएगा, बिकॉज इट टेक्स इट्स ओन टाइम। दैट्स व्हाई आई एम टेलिंग यू ऑल दैट NCID has just started a scheme of mentoring for startup. If you have the startup idea, business idea, and you have moved further, idea से अगर आप prototype level तक आ गए हैं, then I'll invite you all to join us, write about your prototype or idea। फिर हम आपके साथ में 1-to-1 वर्चुअली करेंगे, फिजिकली तो पॉसिबल नहीं है, बिकॉज मेनी ऑफ यू आर नॉट इन दी दिल्ली और NCR, तो वर्चुअली आजकल आसान होता है। तो दैट प्रोटोटाइप से आगे हम कहाँ लेके जाएंगे, दैट वी विल वर्क अप विद यू। ओके
ओके सर। सर बहुत अच्छा
Dr.
मतलब समझाया
Sharma?
कि आगे नेक्स्ट के कैसे बढ़ना है। थैंक यू सो मच सर।
यस,
एक बार ट्राई करते हैं, उसके बाद से आपके साथ अजय फिर डिस्कस करेंगे इसके आगे हम क्या इम्प्रूवमेंट कर पाए।
बिल्कुल
उसके बाद से आगे आगे का आइडिया आप फिर से बताएंगे, तो हम आगे में भी इन्वेस्टर तक भी पहुंच पाएंगे।
यस,
थैंक यू
सर्टेनली,
सो मच सर।
मोस्ट वेलकम।
Dr. Sharma, Ayush has documented his idea. He is a BSc student, and his issue is that he has no idea about coding. So he need help from us regarding the same. You may guide on this.
आई थिंक आयुष, आपका आइडिया है कोडिंग के लिए, हम ये कर सकते हैं कि वी कैन कनेक्ट यू विद द कोडर। अगर आप में से अगर कोई कोडिंग जानता है, देन यू इंटरेक्ट विद द आयुष एंड देन वी वुड लाइक टू कनेक्ट यू ऑल टुगेदर, एंड देन टीम में वर्क करेंगे, तो आई थिंक यू कैन अचीव मोर। अभी यहाँ भी इस हमारे जितने पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, इफ समवन ऑफ यू इज गुड इन कोडिंग, तो आयुष के साथ में आप अपना आगे बढ़िए, एंड देन आई थिंक वी कैन प्लान समथिंग बेटर।
Yeah, I also web developer, sir. I'm
हाँ,
also
तो
web
आयुष एंड
developer.
अरुण,
Yes,
अरुण
sir.
एंड आयुष, आई थिंक अरुण इज वेब डेवलपर एंड आयुष इज ए गुड आइडिया जनरेटर, और दोनों मिलके
Uh,
करेंगे तो अच्छा रहेगा।
या सर, मतलब दोनों के सहमति से ही आगे अगर टीम बिल्ड अगर होकर आगे अगर बढ़ा जाए तो एज ए हेल्पफुल रहेगा सर।
नहीं, अच्छा रहेगा। और मैं अभी आपको बताऊं कि वी हैड जस्ट डिस्कस यस्टरडे, वी वांट टू क्रिएट ए क्लब ऑफ कोडर्स, कोडर्स क्लब ऑफ इग्नो। जो कोडिंग करते हैं उनको हम एक साथ लाएंगे, एंड देन जिनको जरूरत है उनके साथ में हम उनको कनेक्ट करेंगे, क्योंकि टीम में ही होगा। अगर आप कोई बिजनेस करना चाहते हैं, स्टार्टअप करना चाहते हैं, बिना टीम के सक्सेसफुल होगा भी नहीं। उसमें आप अकेले बहुत सारे स्ट्रगल करते रहेंगे। टीम में होगा तो यू कैन डिस्कस योर आइडिया, यू कैन डिस्कस योर प्रॉब्लम, यू कैन डिस्कस योर चैलेंज, और उसके सॉल्यूशन निकलेंगे। ओके, यस, अकबर वांटेड टू आस्क समथिंग। अकबर खान।
Yes, sir. So I'm still not clear. So yes, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
हाँ, यस यस।
Am I audible? Yes, sir. I'm still not clear like how to present our ideas to investors, or like how we will approach them.
No, I could not get what you wanted to say.
No, I'm asking like I'm not clear like how we will approach the investors for our ideas like we have. How we will approach them.
अभी देखिए, इन्वेस्टर्स तक जाने के लिए तो काफी लंबा रास्ता है। इन्वेस्टर्स से पहले तो आपके, मैंने जैसे आपसे बताया कि सबसे पहले आइडिया आपके दिमाग में है। आइडिया मींस क्या करना चाहते हैं, क्यों करना चाहते हैं, वो सारी अभी नेक्स्ट सेशन में आपको बताया जाएगा, क्योंकि दैट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट। क्योंकि अभी आइडिया से आपको एक पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट भी बनाना है। आप क्यों करना चाहते हैं, क्या करना चाहते हैं, किसको फायदा होगा, कहाँ से पैसा आएगा, कैसे आएगा, वो सारा चीजें आपके दिमाग में होनी चाहिए। देन बेस्ड ऑन दैट यू विल हैव टू कम टू दिस नेक्स्ट स्टेज, जो आपकी प्रोटोटाइपिंग है या टेस्टिंग है, वैलिडेशन है। क्योंकि कोई भी इन्वेस्टर आपको तभी पैसा देगा जब वो देख लेगा कि यस यू आर एबल टू डू दिस, यू हैव डन समथिंग, आपने अपने आप कुछ काम कर लिया है। सिंपली आपके दिमाग में आइडिया और कोई आपको पैसा देगा नहीं, देगा कोई, इवन गवर्नमेंट भी नहीं देगी। आपको कुछ तो अपने आप से करके वहां पे दिखाना होगा कि यस, यही जो प्रोटोटाइप की स्टेज यही है। प्रोटोटाइप इज बेसिकली द स्टेज वेयर यू हैव डन समथिंग एट योर ओन, मे बी एट द स्मॉल लेवल, लेकिन उसको आप डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट कर रहे हैं, दैट इज इन द प्रेजेंटेबल फॉर्म। तो वहां कहीं आपको इवन गवर्नमेंट को, किसी फंडिंग एजेंसी को कह सकते हैं यस आई हैव दिस आइडिया, बेस्ड ऑन दैट आइडिया आई हैव डेवलप्ड दिस प्रोटोटाइप। मैं यहाँ बताना चाहूंगा कि तपनजीत इज ए काइंड ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योर जो अभी आपके बीच में ही है। ही हैड एन आइडिया टू डेवलप ए डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ आइसक्रीम, और उन्होंने उसको आइडिया ही नहीं रखा, he has developed that different kind of ice creams। और मैं आपके साथ शेयर करूंगा कि वो हमारे साथ टेस्टिंग के लिए भी ही केम हियर, और उन्होंने टेस्ट भी कराया। नाउ ही लुकिंग फॉर द फीडबैक। तो मेरे कुलीग जो है वो सब जिन्होंने उसको यूज किया, दे विल गिव फीडबैक टू हिम। सो दिस इज द स्टेज नाउ विद दैट प्रोटोटाइप प्रोडक्ट इन माइंड, इन हैंड। अब अगर किसी इन्वेस्टर के पास जाते हैं तो somebody may कंसिडर, अदरवाइज सिंपली आइडिया के साथ जाएंगे कि मैं आइसक्रीम बनाऊंगा और उसके मुझे पैसा दे दो, नोबडी विल गिव यू मनी। आपको कुछ तो बनाना ही पड़ेगा ना, कुछ किसी एक लेवल पे तो आना पड़ेगा अपने आप। सो दैट इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट, अंडरस्टैंड?
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
सर, इन्वेस्टर ग्रोथ कराता है आपका, आगे अपने से तो खुद से पहुंचना होता है, लेकिन इन्वेस्टर ग्रोथ कराता है, आगे तक पुशअप करता
बिल्कुल
है
बिल्कुल,
बस। जी सर।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो अपने से जितना रास्ता ढूंढना होगा तो खुद।
बहुत से बिजनेसमैन स्टार्टअप ऐसे हैं जिनको किसी इन्वेस्टर की जरूरत नहीं है, वो अपने आप आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। दैट इज ऑल्सो
जी
हैपनिंग।
सर, शुरुआत छोटे से करके ही अपने ही पैसों
यस,
के कैसे मैनेजमेंट करके आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, ये खुद से आइडिया लाना पड़ रहा है। एज ए फाइनेंशियल भी थोड़ा सा नॉलेज होनी चाहिए कि कैसे पैसे से पैसे बना सकते हैं थोड़ा सा, या उस
यस, राइट।
प्रोडक्ट जो है प्रोडक्ट हम बना रहे हैं, उसी प्रोडक्ट से आगे उसी प्रोडक्ट को सेल करके कैसे हम पैसा इकट्ठे करके और बिल्डअप कर सके अपने बिजनेस को। तो
Right,
ये सारी
right.
चीज़ें होती हैं।
अरुण, कहाँ कहाँ रहते हो?
सर हम अभी नोएडा 45 में हैं।
अच्छा,
करंट
दिल्ली
करंट आई एम
एनसीआर में रहते
स्टेइंग।
हो।
यस 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 सर, करंट।
तो यू आर बीसीए स्टूडेंट, एमसीए स्टूडेंट?
नहीं सर, हम बीसीए ही हैं।
बीसीए, ओके।
यस
Okay, fine. So if we
सर।
don't have any question, then I think we can take a break and then come to the next session, Dr. Josna.
Yes, Dr. Sharma. Yeah, we can take a 5-minute break.